Hi, my name is Annamieka, and this is the Art Friends Show, where every conversation focuses on getting to know the essence of creativity itself. I'd love to invite you as well to join me inside of Art Friends School, where we go deeper into these topics and join in with other art friends around the world. Thanks so much for joining us, and let's get to the show. Welcome to the Art Friends Show. Here's an artist you're gonna love to know. Hi, my name's Annamieka. I'm an artist in Portland, Oregon, and I'm going live 100 days in a row to create the Art Friends Show, where we make friends with our creativity and each other. And I'm doing all of this to turn the Art Friends Show into a real podcast and a visual YouTube show. And if you'd like to be a guest during the 100-day project or in the future, grab a spot. There's a link in my profile and you can sign yourself up. I love to talk, easy for me to say. I love to talk to artists of all types, whether mostly visual artists are the people that are in my community, but I've interviewed musicians, and I also love to talk to artists at any stage of your career. So if you're a total newbie, if you're mid-career like I am, if you're well established and totally out there, doing your thing, I also love to talk to you too. So tell your friends, sign yourself up. I'm really good at helping people also have their first kind of public interview experience. So if that's something you've been wanting to do, or maybe you want to be a guest on podcasts, you can come on my show. And then when you pitch podcasts, you can send them a link to our interview and be like, see, I've already been on one. So many, many cool ways we can use this platform to help lift each other up. And my intention for this long term is that the Art Friends Show becomes the place where we have these rich conversations. You can hang out and get to know all the art friends probably while you make art. I've been getting a lot of feedback that people like to listen to this while they're sitting there alone, drawing, painting, doing their thing. So we can keep each other company that way. And if you're interested in learning from me and going more in depth on some of these topics, I am founding what I'm calling the Art Friends School, where I'm going to be teaching a new class every month. So whether we just met right now or you've known me for a while, a little recap, I've been teaching art to adults for 20 years. Yeah, since before I was an adult. I started teaching classes to adults when I was 17, and now I realize it's been 20 years and done it in many, many forms. But so what I'm going to do is start pouring all that energy into Art Friends School. So the very first inaugural month of Art Friends School will be May 2023, and you can sign up now. And I'm going to be teaching what I like to call art school in a nutshell. So it's going to be super fun, whether you've ever formally studied art or not. It'll be a really fun and entertaining review for those of you who may have studied some art in some form. And it'll be such an empowering and awesome, life-changing foundation for any of you who are interested in making art, or perhaps you make lots of art, but you've never formally studied it. Definitely take my class in May. It's going to be so fun because I put together this whole curriculum. I've already taught this particular one many times in my high-level mentoring program. And even artists that are actively out there doing this full time are like, oh my God, this is so helpful. So you'll learn line and form and composition and value contrast, aka, dark and light, all of these things that feel super basic, but they actually make a huge difference in your work. And if you're at a point where you're really leaning into developing your own style, maybe you've taken a lot of classes that teach you a technique or how to make a certain looking thing, or do a picture of a girl, or I see a lot of classes paint a butterfly or whatever. This will teach you the elements of art so you can choose your own adventure. I think of it akin to learning music theory a little bit. If you understand scales and how to interpret that, you can modify music to make your own, and just appreciate it more. If you think about, I'm fluent in Spanish, right? I had to learn how to do verb conjugations and past tense and all of that. Same thing with visual art. It's really fun and empowering and life-changing and serves you well for the rest of your days if you understand basic elements of art, basic design, color theory, composition, and etc. And you know I'm going to be cracking jokes and hopping around and making it very fun. So I'm probably like the least intimidating art teacher you can have. So definitely come. We're going to have a good time. That's going to be in May, and I can't wait. I feel like Art Friend School and the Art Friend Show are like my destiny. So please come be my student. I would love to have you, and it's going to be a very interactive experience. So if you sign up now, it's $99, which is like a total steal for something interactive these days that you can do online. And I'm doing that because I really love doing this. And obviously I need the money because I am a working artist and mother and human. And to be a human on earth, we we have to generate income. So I would love to have like 50 of you in it for May, and then we can have a good time. I'm going to have office hours, every week. And right now I have 2 times picked out. Depending on enrollment, I might add a couple more. Those are going to be super fun because that's where I'll be actively explaining the material to you. You'll end up in these small groups that will sort out by time, and you can bring your work and talk about it, and we workshop it right there on the spot. I'll do demos. We have such a good time in those open studio or office hours. And you sign up now, before we start May 1st, you'll be part of this inaugural class, and I'm doing tons of really fun bonuses for the first 50 of you. And basically, so on May 1st, you'll get the whole lesson, and that'll have the whole written lesson and the video presentations and that for you. And then you have the month with me to implement it, to study it, to have fun with it, to put it into your own art, with those live studio hours every week. Okay? Art Friend School. It's where it's at. Tell everyone you know. It's going to be so fun and so huge. Cool. Okay, so today's day 52 out of 100, I think. I wrote it the way that I'm keeping track of this in case you ever do this, because it's really easy to be in the middle of this huge project and lose track. I took my normal calendar, and on the day that the global 100-day project started, I just wrote day 1 and then I went all the way down. So I do have that tracked there. I think it ends officially June 1st. So much has happened. I cannot believe what a joy and just how I feel like I'm in such a different place, with all these conversations, with the daily ritual of going live and doing what I do best professionally, right here. It's absolutely life-changing. Even today was hard. I got news that I didn't get a big job that I really wanted. I was so stoked about it. I was like, this is part of why all this is working. I'd already counted my eggs before they'd hatched, and I was really, really excited about it. So that was disappointing. I also, I'm just disappointed. I also had to tell a friend who had pitched a really cool project to me that I just couldn't do it. I can't afford to take on the project for the amount that they're able to cause. But I sent a bunch of ideas about grant funding, and there might be a potential investor and blah, 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 blah. So it may not be totally in the can, but it was a day of boundaries, disappointment, and an actual real rejection that stings. And my daughter barfed this morning, and she's actually feeling fine, but it's one of those days. We're still here going live. I think she barfed because she had so many treats because it was her birthday yesterday. She turned 4. If you know me, my whole world is this girl, but I don't put her here very much. Sometimes I give myself permission to show her hands or what she's working on. or the back, but it's like, that's even a slippery slope. It might be interesting to do an episode of the real podcast interviewing different parents about how we handle that when we are self-represented art brands, sharing a lot of our world online. Because as she gets older and older, I'm like, I don't want to show her, but how do I tell the story of being a parent and how important that is in the art? So I want to show you something because, oh my God, I got her these things for her birthday, which I freaking love. You may or may not have seen these. They're tempera paint in a stick form. And they're so fun to work with. And look at what she made. Can I have a proud mother moment? What she made? She just freaking made this in 15 minutes. This girl, and I just love how much she's just solidly into this coverage. Then she wrote her name. Okay, totally mommy now. She and I also made this here together, a little collaboration. And one thing I love so much about painting with my daughter, and now 4-year-old daughter, is I'll be doing a thing and I was really attached to this. It's almost done. And then she drew a path. She drew a path all over it. And actually her dad was here visiting and giving her some love, and we were all talking, and he was like, well, what is it? And she was like, maybe it's a bee. And I was like, what a cool idea. To have a bee flying around pollinating all of these flowers and making its little tracks and its trail. So she makes me such a better artist, because I think one insecurity I have about my work is that it's not that interesting, when my real urge lately for a few years, pretty much since she was born, my urge has been to just put all the colors I can, and just I use flowers and leaves mostly as a way to tie the room together because I'm not super into fully abstract work. I love plants and all of that. So I use the forms of flowers and leaves just to kind of vary the imagery, but really I just want every color and to puddle it and scribble it and do it. But I'm I'm still finding the point of it besides my own healing and finding it beautiful, which is obviously plenty, but she makes my work better because now there's a narrative, right? Suddenly I took this just pretty decorative picture and she added a story to it. So if I continue this piece a little bit, I might add a little bee and maybe even a little bit of a dashed line to imply its path, and then suddenly it's pollination in action. So I love that she just came in and invented a story on my otherwise just kind of pretty picture, which is fine. Some other things, let's see. I'm installing a bunch of these paintings on Sunday in this place in Portland that's called Providence Portland Medical Center. If you're local, you can see the show. It's in between the main hospital of Providence Portland Medical Center, and there's a whole building, the cancer center, which is in the back, and there's this big, beautiful, they use it as a gallery space. It's curated by Seth Nehill, who's a local artist. He does a lot of really cool stuff, more in digital and sound, and not as much traditional studio visual art, but he's lovely, and he hangs all the shows there. So Seth and I are meeting up at 4 p.m. on Sunday with all these paintings. I have this huge one that I still haven't figured out how, what vehicle I'm going to borrow to get it there. So hot tip to self, I love painting big, but they don't fit in my car, and it's always a huge pain to try to move these paintings. This one does fit in my car, but yeah. Anyway, logistics. So I'm hanging that show on Sunday, so I'm finishing up a bunch of this work. I can show you in a minute. What else? That place feels significant. Part of my story is I had cancer when I was 19, and I survived it. Very, very happy to be here. And it's really special showing in that spot because I know a lot of people who are actively going through cancer treatment or diagnosis or follow-up, any part of that, are passing through there. And obviously a lot of people who love them, or a lot of professionals who take care of them, go there every day. They're all passing through that hallway. And so I had a show there in 2017, and I had just some of the most poignant connections, and it was really meaningful. And just, I love that my art can just wink at people who are having like a, maybe not the most fantastic day, and it can just be there being like, sha-la-la-la-la-la. And this time, deliberately, I didn't say anything about being a cancer survivor in my artist statement. Last time, 6 years ago, sheesh, when I had a show there, I really spoke to that. I was like, it feels so amazing, full circle, because I actually used to work in that hospital too. I've had a million jobs along the way, and to support myself while being an artist and a human. And one of those jobs, I worked I worked in the physical and occupational therapy inpatient, like people that had strokes and stuff, and then also an outpatient there on the same campus at the time. So I walked those halls a lot. That job, was like 2011. I think it was right before I started my art business in earnest. I actually quit that job, did the artist way, and was like, I'm never looking back. So that's why it feels triumphant to show there. My old workplace, and also in a place where people are getting cancer treatment. It's just sort of like winking at alternate realities that I've been in, and feels really good to put colorful, just like art that heals me as I make it in there. And then, it often, like last time, almost every piece sold, which was super fun, because that's a good feeling. And then it goes and like does its work in people's lives and winks at them from their homes and offices and etc. Yeah. That's a big thing happening. It feels like a big week with my daughter turning 4, with launching Art Friends School, with with this rejection, because I was kind of picturing myself doing that big gig. And now that I'm not, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I have even more bandwidth for Art Friends School. And then with this show. So it's like the culmination of a bunch of things. And my 100 days of doing this live Art Friend show, I built the confidence for that by actually starting another 100-day project on January 1st, where I was committing to paint every day. And that was in preparation for this show. And that just culminated at the beginning of this week. So it's just been like this huge week of like finishing things. Let me just show you some of the work that's out and about. Here. So turn this around. So there's that one. There's this one. There's these babies. Well, that one, some of these are getting mailed off to people who already bought them. There's these. There's these. I really love this one. It's really different, but there it is. There's all of these. There's some hanging out in here. Yeah. So many paintings. It's going to feel really empty. Oh, there's more back there. Anyway, one of these days I'm going to like figure, there's 2 I need to stretch out on the porch. Oh, there's these also. I feel like this is pretty typical of me. I'm like talking about art all the time, but then I'm like, oh, my actual art. Yeah, I don't know. I just make this shit and I love making it. But there's this one. There's this one. Ugh. These are oil paint, so they were kind of stinky. So I was letting them dry. Yeah. So those are some of the things. What else? I think I'm going to be doing a couple more of these solo episodes because we're going into the weekend and hosting 2 more birthday celebrations for my daughter. Tomorrow we're going to the Tulip Festival. And then Sunday I'm hosting like a rager for 10 of her preschool friends. Making like tide-pull crafts and stuff. There's just, I think interviewing a guest is definitely my favorite way to do the show. But if you're ever considering doing something like this, having it go over every single weekend can be really logistically challenging. So I'm going to just pop in and do some kind of solo episode again tomorrow. And then Sunday, I think I'll just show you the show as I'm installing it. So that one will happen in the late afternoon. And I see you, Michelle, there. Hi. Commenting, please share photos of the installed show. It will be great to see them hang together. Yeah, I agree. It'll be really fun to see all the paintings all dressed up and, with proper lighting and hanging, and it always elevates the work, and it's a fun thing to do. Yeah, cool. So once again, if you're an artist, you're watching this, schedule yourself. I'd love to meet you. I'd love to interview you and help you speak to life some of your ambitions, and also just, meet each other's communities who might tune into this live, whether while we do it or once it's posted. A lot of people are just binge watching the interview series while they stay up for hours making art. So it's a total win-win. All right. Yay. That's it for today. Thanks for watching the Art Friend Show. I'm Annamieka, and I'll be back again tomorrow. Bye. I'd love to have you inside of Art Friend School, where we go deeper into these topics. Follow the link that's in the show notes or find it on my website at annamieka.com.